Hey, what's up? It's your girl Ashby back with another episode from Two Girls and an Opinion. Now, we have been meaning to put this content out for a minute, okay? Melina and I recently went on the Funky Dineva cruise back in April of 2025. And we just wanted to give our experience. We know he does have another cruise coming up, and I think he's actually has another trip planned for the DR. Shout out to the Funky Bunch, everybody that's going to the DR. You guys are going to have a ball. I know you are. So we just want to kind of give our experience on the cruise, maybe get some helpful tips. For me, this was my very first cruise, okay? So I was nervous, but I was happy to be there for the experience of it all, right? Being with the Funky Bunch and kind of mingling with everyone. Me and my sister, every year we try to do a sistercation. So this year we did the Funky Dineva cruise, and this was our experience. Let's get into it. This was my first cruise, so one thing I do wish I would have brought is one of those Stanley cups, right? That keeps your water cold. Saw everybody with their Stanley cups on the boat. That's one thing I do wish I would have brought with me. So next cruise, I will definitely have that. So getting into it, so we landed the night before the cruise actually left for Miami. So we landed in Miami. We're both from North Carolina. So we flew out of NC, went to Miami. Now, we have family in Miami, so we did not stay at the accommodations that Allegra does have set up for if you don't have anywhere to stay in Miami when you do get there the day before the cruise leaves. Plenty of accommodations. Lucky for us, we have family there. Got us from the airport, and we headed to their house. Now, as for the Funky Bunch, they were greeted by Allegra and Funky Dineva, and of course, child, we stepped this weekend. If nothing else happened, we threw them fans out of whack. The whole ship had their fans. Look at Allegra going. So of course, the night that we initially got there, everybody was headed down to the bar when she got in your room, checked in and everything. He did have something set up for down at Howie's, and you know Kenny was there rolling his kiki, child. They had a good time. We do have a group chat once everybody's booked and everything. We do have a group chat. We're still in that group chat. The group chat is still active long after the cruise. So shout out to the hashtag Funky Dineva Alumni Bunch of 2025. So they had a good time there. Look at Kenny, child. So the next day we got up bright and early and we headed to the boat. Look at that beautiful boat. Oh, I was so excited. I know I mentioned this was my first cruise, but I think more than nervous, I was very excited. Like, I think the selling point for me about this cruise was no kids. Like, that's all I think about is the mini buffets and, you know, kids. Ugh, it just seems like a bad combo, but the no kid policy on Virgin, I think that was top tier. Of course, we go in, check in, even with the whole Virgin check-in, that was seamless. Like, we were in, they gave us our wristbands. We headed up to our room where we were staying. The boat is just simply beautiful. The people were really nice. Like I like Virgin. I would definitely do Virgin again. So we finally get to our room. The room was very beautiful. We opted for a room with a balcony. This was our deck stew, I guess you'll call him. He was phenomenal. Y'all make sure y'all get cash and tip your deck stew. They are going to look out for you your whole trip. We had to watch the mandatory video, and then we headed down to book our things. Now, I will say this. If you guys plan on booking your massages, anything that you want to book it the first day, like even before you bring your bags to the room. Well, before they show you where your room is. Go and book your things. Get your massages. There's a lot of days at sea. This particular cruise was 5 days, so we did want to make sure we had everything booked in advance. Like, even as far as the restaurants and everything, we booked those things prior to us getting on the boat, because by the time you get on the boat, a lot of those reservations are booked up. So the first chance you get to book before getting on the boat, and that's as far as restaurants and everything else, do that. When you get on the boat, check in, get in your room, go downstairs to Sailor Services and book your massages. You want to get any spa days, any type of facials, they have everything. Book them for the days at sea. Whenever you saw the Funky Bunch, you knew exactly who the Funky Bunch was. So I think with this being my first cruise, I would cruise again with the Funky Bunch, because 5 days for me was a long time to be out at sea, a very long time, but we were a really good group, so that made the experience that much better. So we did our toast, and then off to sea we went. Headed back up to a room for a little bit to get ourselves together, because on night one, we actually met up with some of the members of the Funky Bunch, and we all had dinner that night. So much fun. So we got real cute, put on our best, and then we went down to meet with the Funky Bunch. After we ate the first night, they did have a pajama party. That was an all cruise event. It wasn't just exclusive to the Funky Bunch. So went back to our room. We put on our little pajamas. We was going for a cute little TLC. Well, I creep, yeah, vibe. So we put on our little PJs and we headed down. Headed down to the pajama party. The pajama party was really fun. And what is a pajama party, or a party at all on Virgin, without a queen? Yes, she was so sweet. I talked to her so many times while we were on the boat. After that, we were tired, child. We put our real pajamas on and we headed back and went to bed. The next day, we woke up, got us a little breakfast, and my favorite part of the boat was getting up there and being by that pool, honey. I couldn't wait to get up and put on my swimsuit and head down to the pool. So that's exactly what we did. Day one at sea. The sea days is why I say you should book your things, because the sea days are long days where you're just out at sea. So the days at sea kind of did do a number on me. It was like when we docked, I was like a dog that just got out the cage. Like I was ready to get off the boat. So yeah, went to the pool, time of our life, Funky Bunch down there, mingled with some of the Funky Bunch members, kicked it with Q for a little bit. He was down there, hey Q, some other members, and then that night, we're gonna get into that night, karaoke night. I actually owe the Funky Bunch the biggest apology. So this night we had karaoke night. This is where it went down. I think this was the only night I was most excited for. Everybody got up there, sang, had Oliver up there. You know, Q had to go up there and do his little rendition. So by the time it was me and my sister's turn to get up there, we had Prince playing like I was ready to kill it. Child, why I have a whole medical emergency. I had a whole medical emergency on this boat. Ruined the whole thing, ended the whole party. So unfortunately, karaoke night was cut short because of me. But Funky Bunch Alumni 2025, I owe y'all. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the nurses, everybody that was there. A big fuck you to Virgin medical staff. They were horrible, but the Funky Bunches who really held it down for me. So yeah, karaoke night was a bit of a bust, and it was my fault. Sorry, guys. All right, so after the night I had, child, I was so happy to dock. Look at me. Still cute, but boy, did I have a night. So we finally docked in DR, and I was so happy to get off of that boat. We have been to DR a bunch of times. This is not our first time in the DR, so we weren't real excited about that, but of course we're gonna always make the best of it, because who doesn't love to be on the island? Of course, the first thing I am going to do is get me some coconut water. I love the coconut water on an island, baby. just give me that. Coconut water me, please, all day, all night. So we got our tour guide and we just began on our way. We did want to do some shopping. That was our plan when we got to DR, was to do some shopping. We got some really good jewelry. Of course, the tour guide, he knew all the spots to take us to. The Funky Bunch, they actually had an excursion. Remember, guys, you have to book your excursion separately. There go Funky Dineva. We actually ran into them while we were in DR. But yeah, we were not with the Funky Bunch cruise, but they had a good time where they were. We talked to a few of them once we got back on the boat. We walked around, did a little shopping, and then we headed back to the boat ourselves. DR is so beautiful. The food, the people, always have a good time in the DR. We had to head back to the boat because actually that night was another an all-event cruise event for everyone. There go Q in his little red outfit, but they had an all-red night for, well, I believe it was called Scarlet Night on the cruise. Child, look at all them strobe lights. That's probably why I was around here with medical emergencies and everything. Now that I'm looking back on the footage. Ooh. Anyway, so this was Scarlet Night. Hey, go get it, get it. It was a good time. We did a lot of dancing, got to mingle, and then we headed back to our room and headed for another day at sea. So the next day we woke up, got some breakfast. I did want to take a minute to go over the food on Virgin. The food is pretty good. I didn't have any problems with it. The only thing I would suggest, bring your Stanley cup, also bring your seasoning. If I had my little bottle of Texas Pete or my little bottle of Lowry seasoning salt, whatever your seasoning, garlic powder, whatever you need, bring you a little seasoning for the food. The food was good, but it was bland AF. They had a lot of options, especially when you dock. There were a lot of options, like in the DR. We had some really good food. But the food was good. All in all, I say the food was good. The next day, the Funky Bunch went to work out. Not me, girl. You know where we were headed. We were headed up to the pool, my favorite place to be. So we put on our swimsuits and we headed up to the pool. My favorite spot on the boat. Here we go. Ow, ow. Let's get it. Let's go. So after we left the pool that night, it was actually our private event with the Funky Bunch. And this was something that another get together for everyone in the Funky Bunch, where we can kind of meet up, greet, talk with each other. Our group, I will say this about the Funky Bunch, we are an eclectic group. Like, I met so many different types. I met a police officer, I met judges, I met lawyers, I met a lot of doctors and nurses. Shout out to the nurses on the bunch. There's my girl, she helped me out when I had my medical emergency. Our group is just so eclectic. Like, I made friends with people that I literally keep in contact with to this day. So even if you are going on the trip alone, you're not alone because you're with the Funky Bunch. So shout out to the Funky Bunch. We're kind of that girl. We're kind of that girl. Of course, what is an event if we're not line dancing? Allegra was teaching us a line dance. It was actually a line dance that I do to this day. It's a step and turn, and step and turn, and flick. Yes, yes. So doing our little line dances, it was such a good time, such a good time. We had a blast getting together with everyone, meeting everyone. Everyone that was on the Funky Bunch, again, y'all make sure y'all put your Instagram handles, hashtag Funky Bunch Alumni 2025. That's us. We got to get us some shirts for next year so the girls know we've been here before. Shout out to everybody. So there's some more footage of us. Hey, they not like us. Some more footage of us just having fun, mingling with the rest of the crew. Doing what it's supposed to do. A new world of happiness. So after the Funky Bunch private event, child, we went back to the room. I think that night we did get in the hot tub. We met up with some other members of the Funky Bunch. We got in the hot tub, chilled, talked, and laughed, and went to bed. Because the next day, baby, we were docking in the Bahamas, and I was ready. This was my first time being in the Bahamas, so I was really ready. The Funky Bunch, they headed to Atlantis. They said they had a really good time. Spoke to some people once we got back on the boat. They said they had a really good time. This is some of the footage of them on Atlantis, of course. Line dancing was going on, a lot of line dancing this whole trip. But of course, we had to be the wayward girls. We wasn't on the island with them. We actually got a ride to the beach. And once we got to the beach, we, got our little chairs, got our little pineapple cute drinks. We got some really good food, some really good jerk chicken that we had out there. We met some friends. I'm actually going back to the Bahamas. I'm having my son's sweet 16 birthday party there. So yes, we'll be back. We met our friend Fred. Where's Fred? Fred actually got us to the ATM, made sure we were straight on the island while we were there. Shout out to him. He actually, at the time, he had just had a baby. His baby was 6 months old. Beautiful baby. But shout out to him. Shout out to everybody on the island that took care of us. We definitely had a good time. Anyways, we had a little bit too much fun on the island. We had to sashay back to our ride so they could take us back to the dock, so we can get back on the boat. I always watch them videos on YouTube of people running back, trying to make it to the boat. I did not want to have that experience, but we sure took our sweet time in the Bahamas trying to get back to the boat. We taking pictures. Child, she trying to get a selfie. We need to be heading to the boat. So we not no runners trying to get on the boat. We gonna get our little one too. We wasn't ready to go. We'll be back, Bahamas. Bahamas, we love you. We love you. That's us rushing back to the boat, child. She's still sashaying. Luckily, we did make it. We didn't have to run nowhere. And that's us back on the boat, looking ever so good. It was such a beautiful day. Like the entire time, the weather was beautiful. We didn't have one bad day, except for that day in DR was a little dreary. But other than that, it was good. It was good. So this is us, our final night, getting ready to head out to dinner. Like I said, this was my first cruise. 5 days kind of took me out. 5 days with the Funky Bunch. I'll do that all day, every day. This is us back in Miami. The trip has come to an end. Shout out to everybody we met. Don't forget to comment below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And guess what? The girls are booked for 2026. So we'll see you guys then. Bye.